Welcome to Around Town. I'm your host, Dick Patten. It's a pleasure to welcome you back as we start to get near the end of the month and say goodbye to August and start to look at September. And I see in the paper today that the first apples are now on sale at Carter Hill. So I guess if you're in the mood for a gala apple, which I've never had, I'm the Macintosh boy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow, and the football season's already, the exhibition's on, so I guess, and I saw my first tree changing colors the other day. I was down on South Street, and there was this big tree that had started changing, the leaves started changing colors.
Maybe it has something to do with the very hot, dry weather we've had.
Sure
that it's going to be.
be.
We'll have foliage season the week of Labor Day.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bad year, but I don't know. Anyway, with that voice you're hearing, it's Paul Brogan, and he, once again, my special guest. I call him my Ed McMahon. This is the Johnny Carson Ed McMahon, because we always have such a great team. We always have such a great show. And, it's just soon good to have you back on again.
It's always nice to be here. And even when I'm not, I check in on YouTube, on our shows, and on all the other shows, too, because you have quite an array of shows on that and on Facebook.
Yeah, Ian there, who's always busy putting these shows out there. But I'll tell you, I'm so happy with him, what he does. I mean, there's just nothing this guy doesn't do for us. So.
No, it's.
But anyway, we're getting Concord's getting ready for school again. I mean, the school will be starting up another week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yes, I think it starts Tuesday, the 30th, or
right around there.
I think the teachers go in that Monday. Then the students go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then they have 4 days off for Labor Day. Unlike
we never did that.
No.
It was always
we started
the
Wednesday after.
Yeah.
And by Friday of that week, you were fully focused on it.
Yeah.
And so the following week, when you came back in, it was nose to the grindstone.
I remember Tuesday after Labor Day was like what in the heck do I do? Because tomorrow is the first day of school. It's like, come on, let's get it over with. Let's go. Might as well start now. But we always waited for that Tuesday to go by.
Well, we would always signal the end that Tuesday by going to White's Park to the pool. That was the day the pool closed, that night at 7 o'clock.
Oh, really?
And that was it. So that was sort of the ritual. You'd already had the peanut carnival at White's Park.
Yeah.
And then you went, because the pool stayed open until that day after Labor Day. I think they've already closed now.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah. And here we're going to have 90-degree weather over the weekend.
Because budgets and all that, they cut the funds back. But they closed them for the year, I guess. And and then it just doesn't seem. And of course, some of the stores are getting ready for Halloween. I noticed that the one up there by the mall is getting their stuff. That big sign's been up since June again.
Where not Best Buy, but
Circuit
City used to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then of course, Home Depot and Lowe's are getting their big areas ready for Halloween already. So I guess that's on the horizon.
All the grills are marked down and everything must go. And most of the stores, they've already got the winter clothes in.
Oh, yes.
Because day after the 4th of July was all summer things must go.
Isn't it a riot, though?
It is. Well, we just rush our way through, and it's just, you don't enjoy the seasons while they're there.
No, you don't.
I mean, years ago when we were kids, you didn't see back to school things until August in Penny's or Sears or anywhere.
Center,
it wasn't in July. It was second week or third week of August, and it's sort of signaled. And everybody managed to get everything done by their pencil cases and their lunch boxes.
Remember those? And the lunch boxes. You had to have either a cartoon character or a hero on those there, and I mean, we'd never see a paper bag. Everybody had their boxes.
Had to.
But boy, by 6th grade, if you had a lunchbox, you were still kind of. Well, I still had mine. But I mean, it's amazing.
Well, they were made to last.
And the thermos bottle was in their little thermos, and it was quite. It was back then, and the pencil boxes were kind of cute.
Yeah, they were
cardboard or whatever they were wood, and you had your ruler and pencil and all that stuff. And
all the things that you needed. When
now,
you got there.
Gosh, it costs you $500 just to get that stuff for your notebook. You got to have a new backpack. Nothing is passed out anymore in school, paper or anything.
No.
But
do they still have textbooks?
I don't really know. Ian, do they?
I'm not in school.
You're the baby.
Yeah, they still have this.
They do still have.
Yeah, so peanut gallery.
So there are actually some things that you actually open up a book. It's not all on your laptop. Or
remember how we used to? I don't know about you, but we couldn't afford to buy like Runlet or Concord High. We couldn't afford the fancy book covers. Mm-hmm. So we had the paper bags. Mm-hmm. We'd bring them home and we'd cut the paper bag to be a book cover. We didn't have the money for that stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was a big deal.
Because they sold the book covers in the store, right?
Yes. Well, that and at the high school too, they had them for sale. Yeah, Concord High or Runlet. Mm-hmm. Now that reminds me, did you see in the paper? You wouldn't have had her because you were in Brady or St. John's. Brady, I guess it was. Mm-hmm. But Mrs. Thorne died the other day. Oh. Now she was the English. I had her for English in 12th grade up at Concord High School. She was 90-something odd years old, and she was like the leader of the National Honor Society, and she was a quiet lady. She was a very nice teacher, very respectful, but very quiet, and she also had that way about her that she was more, not really like common English or whatever, I mean, as far as textbook, but she was more of the fancier stuff, but she didn't act it.
Right.
She was very down to earth, and Laura Thorne, I think her name was. So another one of our high school teachers feisted us, but.
Well, I saw today in the paper Dr. Pinhale's wife died.
Yes, I saw that.
101.
Too. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Amazing, 101 years old.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And like I said, when I go up to the nursing home to see my sister, it just tears me apart. Mm-hmm. It seems like I'm beginning to know more people up there, and it's funny because they think I'm up there too living. No, I'm just here. My sister's here, but it's amazing. The one Wilbur Maxfield, who used to be on Concord PD, is still there. Dr. Black is now over to the Birches, and but it's just amazing the ones that are there, and how they have no visitors. It's like, oh gosh.
No, that's sad. That really is.
It is. It is. So if I get in one of those places, Ian, you better come see me.
I'll come see you.
I'll haunt you.
And we can sit on the porch and rock back and forth and talk the way we talk on here.
That's right.
And Ian can bring a camera along and
laugh at us.
I'll take some pictures.
Yes, just keep the show going in some form.
Yeah, the old roundhouse. And now, of course, I see in the Heights we're going to get a red aerodyna maybe up on Loudon Road.
I saw that today. That had been approved.
Of course, they're still chewing about what they're going to do with Loudon Road. It makes me laugh for that.
Well, there was a very good letter in the paper today from someone about
Chuck Antle.
Yes, wanting to know how. Please explain to me how 2 lanes is going to be more.
Well,
and noted that the accident statistics were not Loudon Road, but that they were using over, on the highway.
Bridge Street.
Yes, as part of that.
Well, Chuck calls me. We talk off and on, and I told him, I said, I was born on the Heights or the Concord Plains. And so, but they don't want to hear that. They want these new ones that just moved up here.
Yes.
But I said, you're going back to the 50s and 60s when you talk about 2 lanes up here. That's the sad part.
Yes.
And to go back down days, I mean, I don't care what they do on Main Street. That looks nice down there, yes. But then sometimes you've got lines of traffic trying to get up there and somebody stopped.
Or when a delivery truck stops right in the middle. And you really have a hard time getting around, I go downtown now probably a third or a quarter as much as I used to, just because it's, it's more of a hassle than it used to be. And I know several business owners that have confided in me that business is way off. They keep waiting for what was supposed to happen. And I said, what was supposed to happen? They said, well, we were going to do this, and suddenly people from all parts were going to start pouring into the community. And I said, and you believe that?
Yeah.
But up here, there's too many businesses, places that and even mom and pop, like the Landmark or Arnie's, that kind of a disruption. And then if you narrow the number of lanes, there are people that are just going to say it's not worth the hassle of going up there. You could get out, to the place in Pembroke there, lanes, faster than you could get up here with that limited, number of cars.
But with Dairy Queen coming in,
yes.
I said something the other day. I said, it makes me laugh is, when are they going to start building? I haven't seen the thing done up there yet.
It's supposed to, it said, the thing in the paper said they'd start construction in September and it would open before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I guess you just sort of throw it up quickly.
Throw it up there, yeah.
I mean, for a long time, where Arnie's is still looked like the Dairy Queen.
That's right.
That it used to be.
We've known it as the Dairy Queen.
And that it's still, when I drive by there, I still think
of it,
Dairy Queen.
The big red
and the
roof.
brazier food that they, and
the red roof
all
there.
of that.
Yeah.
And there's, I like some things. I love the blizzard that Dairy Queen has. But but with new businesses and everything else, that's just going to be a hindrance. Well, the construction period will be devastating to some of these businesses.
Oh, yeah.
You have Vacman and Bob, and that's a small business.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very hard for that kind of a business to stay open with that kind of a change. And again, people today don't have the patience. You and I grew up in a time when you had patience. You knew at 5 o'clock when the whistle blew that the 5 o'clock rush hour would start. And from 5 to 5:30 downtown, you think we were New York City. It was so busy.
Oh, yeah.
But at 5:30, it all ended. Yeah. And if you were on Friday nights when shopping night.
Yeah.
But you had the patience. You didn't sit and toot, or you didn't think, I've got to get in there. I've got to get in David Heller quickly and get that tie and be gone.
Yeah.
You didn't, people took life in a much more leisurely way, and it was all, part of socializing. But today people want to get from A to B so quickly, and if there is, less accessibility like Loudon Road would conceivably be, they're just not going to go.
No. And that's what I said. I said even Manchester Street has not been really settled because it's still a traffic hazard up there.
Yes.
Of course, our councilor seems to forget that Manchester Street is part of the east side on the heights there, but, and I don't ever hear mention about that.
No.
But, it's just amazing. And, of course, the Old Home Day was not successful like they thought it would be.
It didn't.
Only 20 people came, and they were disgusted that nobody from the city was there, even the councilor that represents this area. They said they said they sent letters and nobody ever responded to the invitations or anything.
Now, the event that you and the Grange put together was very well received, from what I understand. But once again, you didn't have city representation.
No, nobody came.
And
nobody came. I mean, Dan Andrews came to receive a plaque because Engine 7 over here in the Heights, the crew that was on didn't feel like they wanted to go over there because in case they got called out or something. But he came, but even that was a little botched up era because when they dug the history up, the Grange was responsible for getting the first fire protection up here in 1923. They didn't know that. And that's like I was talking with somebody down the firehouse block the other day. They didn't know that next door to that was the old Central Fire Station. Had no idea that was a fire station.
Really?
Nope. And had no idea.
That's where the whistle was.
Oh, yes. And I said,
and we all looked at our little cards to see where the fire was.
You'd hear the big air horn go off on a box alarm.
Yes.
And then down came Warren Street.
Yep.
You'd see probably engine, if it was a big box alarm, engine 1, 2, and 4, ladders 1 and 2, and tank 1 probably would all come down through there onto the main street. And then you'd hold your breath trying to see which way they're going to go because, gosh forbid, if they're going to go to the Heights, and you think, oh my gosh, that's before they had a station up here. Or if they got the other way. And then, of course, normally it was just either one engine if it was just a car fire or whatever.
Right.
But, those days when you heard those horns go off, because they had them at North State Street and Warren as well, and then again on North Main Street and Warren.
And the 5 o'clock whistle, and we also had the 8:30 whistle in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that sort of set the day, the beginning of the workday and the
Yeah.
end of the workday. And that was just something you heard. And you didn't have it on the weekend. It was only Monday
No.
through Friday. But it signaled, you know.
And you know, I was surprised. I didn't know this, but I didn't realize they didn't play the bells anymore.
Oh yeah, from the top of the Tinny
yeah,
building. That was
I didn't know that. I thought
Yes.
it was the church that did that.
No, it was on top of the Tinny building, that first block of Pleasant Street between Main
Yeah.
and it was on top. There were speakers,
Oh,
4
that's
speakers
where
that
they
went
came.
off in all directions
That's where
because
that came
we could
from.
hear it up on Academy Street, particularly if the wind was blowing a certain way. All of a sudden, it was as though the chimes were right there. But yeah, they did that. They played those at 9 in the morning,
yes.
noontime,
Yes.
and 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right after the 5 o'clock whistle,
Yeah.
they would do that, and they usually either 2 or 3 songs
Oh
they
yeah.
played.
I
And it
know,
was just- it was
nice.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was nice.
And during the holidays, of course, it was Christmas music
Yeah.
they played. But there was just something very comforting and reassuring about that, because I remember as a child, we'd have visitors from out of state, and they'd hear that, oh, where's that coming from? And they were so impressed that Concord still in the 1960s maintained that kind
I know.
of connection.
When did they stop?
They were still doing it in the 70s, I know.
I thought they were,
And I think it may have gone on a little bit longer, but at some point it just and there was no announcement. It was not in the paper that
yeah.
you know, it was just all of a sudden you listened and you didn't hear them anymore. And so I don't remember exactly when. That would be something certainly to research, but
Yeah, I didn't realize they weren't doing them anymore. It was I was downtown, and I said, "Where are the bells?"
yeah, yes.
Once I go down there, go.
Yes. Well, when I said that one time to somebody 10 or 15 years ago, the only ringing is in your head.
Yeah.
So, you know, as though this was something I had just conjured up. But I think to all of us, certainly, because they every kind of song, and you just knew the songs, you know. They were traditional and fun and songs that, you know, you'd grown up with and things like that.
I had my first call the other day for a Christmas tree
Uh-huh.
for the city, I call it the State House Plaza, but
Yes.
it's City Plaza.
No, it's the State House Plaza.
And so it was from somebody in Bow. They said they had a beautiful blue spruce. So I said, well, I'll take a run down, look at it. Well, it was okay. And I've got to call it because I got to talk to the city about it. And but it had two it kind of split, and they don't like those kind of trees if it splits up, you know. And then of course it was almost too small. It'd be a good tree maybe for Pennacook, but not for the Heights anyway. I mean, for the downtown.
For the downtown.
So if anybody's got a tree, we need a 35 to 40 footer, and preferably a spruce tree, whether blue spruce or what. But they are looking for one. So you're welcome to call me, and the city will go and look at it and make sure it's not anywhere near any power lines. So when they cut it, that they can just load it onto a flatbed truck and bring it up through. But yeah, we're going to be needing a tree very soon.
Well, 3 months until the parade, just about.
Yeah, you figure November 19th.
And today's the 18th. We're filming this on the 18th of August.
Yeah, and so the letters are going out very shortly. It's called a futuristic Christmas theme this year. And the letters have already gone out for the tree lighting, but of course, as usual, I've only had 2 donations received. I've got pledges on a couple, but as I said, until I have them in hand, I can't count them. But you know, we're hoping for another good year there. And
last year was amazing.
I know. I've had such good remarks about that. But
and the additional lights you got, that extra, really worked out beautifully.
But
too.
that was because of New Hampshire Credit Union, over there on Airport Road. Paulie Saltmarsh was good enough to get us a donation for that, and that's what the lights went for. We really could use some more if we get a bigger tree. But you know, it just doesn't seem possible that now within a matter of weeks they're going to be shifting gears Yes, I mean, I'll be putting Halloween lights out and all that jazz, but you know, because I made mention in the paper about the vandalism there on the fence on Regional Drive. Somebody said they think they drove a car through it, but there's two sides there that the car had been damaged pretty good, but it's sad how they had to do that to that fence. But you know, it just
Yes.
And then we'll have the big planes back in here again for the racetrack here in September. So
time has a way of racing by.
I know, but you know, and it's funny because some days it just drags, and the
Yes.
TV stinks.
Oh, the more channels,
I
the
got
less
sick
there
of
is to watch.
I've gotten sick of the Olympics playing English. Some of it was interesting, but it takes up every time of day on NBC. And yeah, they've changed some channels there on the cables there, and I can't find one channel that was good, you know, and I don't know what happened. They've changed the name or the letter, whatever, but it had Touched by an Angel on it. Was the Waltons were on it, the Murder, She Wrote. It was in the morning. It was called Cozy TV, C-O-Z.
Oh, Cozy.
Yeah. Now they got Jimmy Swaggart on
It's
there.
on. It's up in the 900s.
Oh, yeah?
It's in the 900s.
Oh,
it's somewhere between 910 and 950. Decades, I think, is 949 or something, which is also similar.
I'll see if I can find it.
They have the Dick Cavett shows and all from years ago. But yes, Cozy is still on. And I think it's also at like 292, maybe.
I'll see if I can find
I'll
it.
email you.
Yeah.
And check, but yeah,
I
it
used
is.
to like that.
It is definitely still there.
All of a sudden, I got Jimmy Swaggart. Oh gosh! You know, I mean, I still watch Lawrence Walk on Saturday
Yes,
night, but
of course. That's
but
been renewed for another season with New Hampshire Public Television.
Yeah, that's
They
good.
still, I guess, it's one of their big draws
yes,
for
I'm sure.
pledges, so they
I'm
will
sure.
keep that going and everything. So, but
Yeah, it doesn't seem possible when you think about the holidays and everything
No.
else. I mean, to me, Halloween is like the unofficial start to it. But
and this
and
year
then-
it's just a few days before the election, so there's going to be that
Yeah.
frenzy going on
Oh, yeah.
for push. So it's going to.
that's why I'm also hoping that we're not going to lose donations. Like last year, we lost them to that 250th. And this year, I'm hoping that we'll be able to get them back, and not because of the campaigns, but
Yes.
also too. And then in October, we have the State Grange Convention coming up, and we'll be honoring your mother with one of the awards. And she doesn't know it yet, has she?
No.
Good.
No.
Well, I'll
No.
be sending her a lot.
I like to keep her in the dark as
Yeah.
much as I can.
Oh, she really earned it. It's gonna be
Well,
it's gonna be a nice recipient.
She goes back to school in a couple of weeks to do her storytelling at
God,
McAuliffe.
Really?
And, yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, on Thursdays down there
Wow.
with either second or third graders, and
Isn't that
they
something?
love it. They just she acts out the story, so it makes it very real for them. It's not just opening a book and just reading this. And she'll get them involved and say, "Well, do you know what a such and such is?" And so it's nice. It's a nice.
Does she dress up as Mother Goose?
No, she doesn't go that far.
At a riot, though.
And I think with her little Fiat, I think in a costume it would be too complicated getting out of the car, and
But that's good, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Really, to see
That
them
keeps
active
her-
at that age,
Yeah.
I mean, really.
she'll be 93 the end of this year. So
Can you imagine what Ian's going to do when he gets that age? Oh,
he'll be still doing your show.
Well, I won't be me as a host. I can tell you, I'll be in Never Land or whatever.
Wow.
Isn't it right there? You and I will be watching him do something.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
Although we might be watching on TV this big show produced by or directed by Ian Marx, and we'll think, oh, we knew him when he was that,
Very true.
That'd be
Very
nice,
true.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes.
And, I got my start in Concord.
I think he's headed for really amazing things because he has an imagination and he has an understanding of all aspects of it and how a program looks. And,
Oh yes.
And when I look at them on YouTube or on the Facebook page for the show, I'm really impressed. Particularly when I'm watching other people as the guests, because then I'm not worrying about how I sound or something else, and I'm just watching the program, and it has a very, very inviting allure.
Yeah,
it really does, and there's such a good diversity of the guests that you have on.
And I'm assuming that 22 still is showing them. Ian was going to check and see if they got them.
I stumbled upon the one with Al Baldassaro that you did with Al a few months ago was on Channel 22 recently.
Who was Al?
Al Baldassaro, one of the politicians there.
Yeah.
Oh, Baldassaro?
Yeah, him.
Oh, that was months ago.
Yeah, well, they ran that maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was on.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Well, they often run them out of order, or they'll take sometimes an older one and put it in,
because of
to a slot. So, but I did catch that, and I said, "Oh, they're still running it. That's good."
with his comments that he made
Yes,
about the
he's
thing. I'm
making national publicity.
Yeah, I know.
So,
But amazing.
so
I just, because myself, I do love the fall of the year,
Yes.
the autumn. I really do.
Yes.
And of course, September can be a very hot month, though.
yes, you can.
Hurricanes and everything else. But we haven't had any up here. But boy, Louisiana's getting hit.
Well, I hope we get
Can
some
you
rain.
imagine that? The rain down there?
Horrible down there, just catastrophic,
And we need it up here bad,
Desperately.
but we're not getting anything.
and nothing really forecast.
No.
The kind that we need,
Good soaking rain.
a good soaking rain. Yes, not something that's going to run off quickly. So.
What amazes me is how their forecast is so off.
Hmm. And we need it before the ground freezes in
Wow.
November. Otherwise, it's not going to do a lot of good.
I look at the horseshoe pond down
Yes.
there the other day and went down for my tests, and couldn't believe how dry that is. Even out here on Loudon Road, there's a swamp area by the mall, by the movie theater,
Yes, yes.
and that is all just about dried up. It's like, my gosh, it's been and they
It
said
has
it was
been.
going to be a dry year. When you figure how we had no snow,
No.
so
And we didn't have those April showers, and
No.
it just has snowballed along, and here we are, almost September, and we're still dry, and it doesn't look to change.
no, they don't. In fact, you talk about September. I did see another teacher too the other day over at Comcast, Mr. Jackson. Do you remember Arthur Jackson?
I remember the name.
I didn't have him in school. He was at Runlet.
Uh-huh.
And he came, I think, when I was in 8th grade, I think, or 9th grade. I remember him because there were two Jacksons. There was Arthur Jackson, and then there was an Alan Jackson. But I saw him at Comcast, and he said, "You remember you?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "Oh, thank you, Dick." He said, "Very nice of you to recognize me." I said, "Well, all my teachers, I mean, I didn't have him, but
Yes.
if I see them, I do say hello." You know, but of course he's bald-headed, but that's all right. But yeah, he's got to be up in his
80s.
well in his
Easily.
80s now. You know, but I like it when I can recognize people and say hello or whatever. You know. But anyway,
That's what makes Concord Concord.
I know it's true.
It is.
You know,
yes.
and I ride
That
down through
personal.
Main Street and I think of the old days. Think of your thoughts about Concord Theater. You know, I looked at that the other day, and it just, you know, it's sad to see some of that stuff gone.
Oh, it is. It is. This the personal touch is gone, and the people that are there are all looking down. Nobody makes eye contact or nods or says
they don't.
hello.
No.
They're all too busy with their.
And there's so many restaurants now, and
Yes.
all that. I feel like I'm in a college town. That's what I feel like. But well, I guess we're coming to a close of Around Town, Mayor Paul, and down to 5 seconds. So it's been a pleasure having you on again.
Likewise, thank you.
And we'll get you back on again too long before your mother goes for that
Okay.
big thing. 'Cause I want to talk about that. And
All right.
so
We want to talk about your upcoming election too, sometime.
yeah, that's coming up
Yes.
in November there. Yeah, you're right. So, well, with that in mind, thanks for joining us on Around Town. And again, thank you to my director, Ian Marx. And we hope to see you soon. Enjoy the good weather, what's left of it. And as we head toward Labor Day, I'm your host, Dick Patten, for Around Town.